Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. The conversation around giving women equal opportunities in Nigerian politics will always be highlighted as we seek gender equality and participation in governance in the country. The Minister of Women's Affairs, Pauline Talon, has identified the low number of women in politics and other leadership positions as a major setback to the country's development. She stated inadequate number of women in decision-making positions explain the country's low investment and slow progress in some of the crucial areas of human development outcomes. According to a report by the Gender Strategy Advancement International, GSAI, which disclosed that women's political participation in Nigeria falls below the world and African continental standards. Joining us on the show this morning to discuss women's participation in politics is Dr. Betta Edu, National Women Leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Dr. Edu, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Good morning.
Fantastic.
Good morning, Dr. Edu. Good to see you again. Well, it's been a whole 9 months since you assumed office as the women leader of the All Progressives Congress. Since then, we've gone through the primaries. Just to ask you, what has your experience been like so far? And to ask you whether you feel disappointed that women didn't quite get much of a chance in terms of victory at the primaries, not just in your party, but within the political space generally.
I think across board, we have not arrived at the destination which we want to be as women, considering the fact that we are only shortchanging the developmental speed of a country when you shortchange women. However, we have some success stories which women can look up to, and it can motivate them to continue to push until we arrive at that point where we can say truly we have enough women at leadership positions, in elective positions. Our party was able to make some very giant strides. We have a woman who is a candidate for the governorship position. We have several women as candidates for the deputy governorship positions. We have several other women as candidates for Senate, House of Reps, House of Assembly across the country. I think there are well over 70 70 women who were able to cross that line. This is a huge improvement on what it used to be in our party. And so for that, we are really hopeful that if we continue with this push, we can get more women across the line in future elections. Remember, the local government, councillorship, and all of that will be coming up very soon. And we need to re-strategize to get more women across the primaries line.
What kind of feedback have you had? Because APC had strategies to include women, such as discounts when purchasing forms and what have you. But going forward, is there anything else that you might consider adding to that to encourage more women to come forward?
So, like we said, it's a 360 approach to build the entire system where women become or take the center place. We first started with giving women free forms. This would encourage more women to come into the entire business and contest to get into elective positions. We went a step further to ensure for the first time in the history of the party that delegates, even as little as delegates election, you must elect at least 2 out of the 5 delegates at the local government, at the ward level, at the state level. They must be females. And then for the national delegates, 1 out of the 3 must be females. For some states that did not abide by that, we had to push it back for them to redo it. You must have a woman, because when you are coming to nation building, election processes, voting on the day of elections and the rest of it, women play critical roles. So you cannot deprive them of that opportunity to be part of the entire process. Beyond this, we are looking at situations where we can categorically support candidates. Next month, which is August, we would be having our training for candidates from our party, APC, candidates who have emerged, the electoral process. What does it entail? How do they need to prepare themselves? And then we'll go a little further to see how we can get kind-spirited individuals, the party, and indeed the entire structure of APC to really fall behind these women who have become our candidates to ensure that they emerge as the full-fledged owners of those seats, where we need to do reconciliations so that we can go together with one force. We will do same during this short period.
Okay, earlier on, I asked you what your experience has been. I hope you still share your experience with us. But there was one subject you discussed earlier today, which is the plan by, some, or rather, members of the National Assembly, lawmakers, to remove President Buhari from office. They've given him a 6-week ultimatum, failing which they will commence proceedings to remove him from office. What do you think of that? Because even members of your party, are involved in this plan to remove the president on the grounds that he has failed to address insecurity problems in the country.
Okay, so first I'll begin with my experience as a woman leader in the All Progressive Congress. I think it's been a very wonderful and intriguing experience. We have been able to interact and bring women from across the country, across different tribes and religion, across the different hierarchies, both economical and social hierarchies and divide, put them together, mobilize them to support the party. We have several strategies which we've put on ground to unite women to speak with one voice, and they are really, really paying off. Women are becoming more energetic, women are becoming more involved, women are becoming more motivated to be part of the entire electoral process. We've had challenges here and there, especially with aspirants that didn't cross through to become candidates, being aggrieved for one reason or the other, to think that probably there was shortchange or probably there were some obstacles that they felt we should have been able to help them overcome. But of course, with proper engagement and going through the entire process with them, they were able to see that sometimes it's not just about party intervening. It's about you having that grasp at the grassroots to get the masses, the majority, to be on your side and to push for you. And of course, women are more and more enlightened every day to understand more of the processes. Remember, they were not fully involved in these processes for a long while. So now they're beginning to understand what it entails. So it's not just about getting the forms. It's not just about saying I'm the aspirant, I'm printing posters and going. There are lots of consultations that need to go through. There are lots of checks and balances and all the control measures you need to put in place to ensure that you emerge as a candidate. These are things which it's a work in progress. But altogether, it's been a wonderful 100 days in office. It's been very, very impactful. There's no single week we've not carried out a welfare outreach program, medical health outreach for women, financial empowerment for market women, petty traders, farmers, for the last 4 months of being the national women leader of APC. And I think it's been a wonderful experience with the women, as opposed to what we used to hear, that women don't support women. Women have been very, very supportive. And now on to the issue which you raised earlier on. I think we need to be very critical as a nation when we are dissecting issues. If you can remember very clearly in this country that there was a time where we had regions of this country in the hands of people with flags flying at different points. But that's not the case today. Rome was not built in a day, and it takes time to walk through this process. There are challenges, yes, but the question is, are there active steps being taken to address these challenges? And that answer is yes. The president is not just sitting down and watching. No, he's actively engaging. He's actively pushing to see that Nigerians are secured. Remember, it's not an outright war where you can understand that this is the beginning, this is the end, these are where they are coming from and the rest of it. It's almost like a guerrilla warfare where you just come in, after one day you throw this, you run away, you go hide, you come out, you do this. First and foremost, I think it's a collective effort. It's not about Mr. President alone. good and fine. The leadership is taking the lead as he is doing. But it's a collective effort. If you see something, have you said something, you can find people who are living together with these people in the same area, in the same strange people come into your premises. What have you done to raise this up with the security agencies to say, I'm seeing strange faces around here. I don't understand those who are saying. How conscious are we as Nigerians about security? Remember, we have limited number of security forces across the country, and it's not possible. It's not possible for them to be everywhere at the same time. And these people who are really keen on mischief, probably I don't want to believe, I strongly don't want to believe it's political. I really want to push that back. But it's supposed to be everybody's business. So when we sit together and say we're going to remove this one, will remove this, or do that, it's not about the president. It's about you in your village, in your region, in your space. Have you been able to critically look at security and ask yourself, what inputs can I make? You go, you sleep, you don't even bother. We wake up in the morning, we come out of our gates. We're not checking who is passing, who is sitting there, who is standing there. It's not your business. You're moving. Those are strange faces. You've never seen them before. Did you make any effort to raise this up with the security authorities to say, look, we have strange people here and you need to intervene almost immediately? And then, of course, the security apparatus, they have their challenges which are being addressed as the day goes by. Remember that we're up against a whole lot. We're up against economic downturn generally across the entire globe following COVID. We're up against even the war going on in Russia that is gradually beginning to affect every other country. The natural resources that we get from those areas in terms of gas and petroleum and the rest of it. And all of those things are gripping in on a country. However, security is most important, and the government is actively working towards it. I think we should step back and give useful criticism, well-structured ones that can support him to take decisions that would altogether be useful to all of us. I know they've been having a series of security meetings and different deployments are going on, but I think if we all get involved as a nation, if you see something strange, say something. Last week I called and I said around my house, I don't know those who are moving there. I'm seeing strange faces. And I saw the patrol van started coming through, right? So those are simple things you can do from your own end. And then you can avoid places that are high-risk areas.
Two quick questions. The Minister for Women's Affairs has said female voters should only support twinning candidates, i.e. if you have a male running for perhaps a governor, he has a female deputy governor. What's your take on that? Should that be formal APC policy? And also on the issue of representation, I'd like your comments on your Muslim ticket at the presidential level, because we're talking about gender representation, but religious representation is also important. If you can, in just a minute or so.
So two things. First and foremost, I think there's no restraint to those women should support. Women should support persons who would mainstream women and give us the right seat on the table. People who would be very gender sensitive to the issues that affect us as women. Maternal mortality, empowerment, financial positioning, leadership positioning, appointments. Those are things that can directly, policies that can directly have direct toe and effect on women. Those are the candidates that women should stand for. And that's what the candidates from our party, the APC, do represent. But of course, like you had earlier on asked, we have encouraged candidates to twin with women. And that has been done in some states. Of course, you know the Ekiti. He took the former woman leader, and she's now the deputy governor-elect of Ekiti State. In Ogun State, we have a woman twinning. In Kaduna, we have a woman twinning, and a woman is still going to twin with the next candidate. She's now the candidate too, a deputy governor candidate. And in some other spots, we have women twinning. However, in states where we don't have women twinning, and we have candidates like we have presented as a part party that are credible candidates that would support the cause of women, those candidates should be totally supported. Now going to the issue of religion. I want us to, to be very, I would like us to be very critical about it. Whether you're Muslim or whether you're Christian, we face the same challenges. Be it insecurity, be it financial empowerment, be it agriculture, be it healthcare. The hospital that might not be functioning does not say, okay, I'll function for a Muslim and I'll not function for a Christian, right? Why I always preach for religious tolerance and acceptability is because we are one nation in one ship heading to one destination. Whether you're Muslim or you're Christian, you're heading to one destination. The same factors affect all of us, and we should go beyond to look at the factors that affect us and look for a candidate like Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is able to address those factors that affect us as a people and as a country.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Betta Edu, for joining us on The Morning Show.